everything that we want is on the other side of fear. And sometimes just taking an honest look at ourselves requires courage.
You're listening to Prospecting on Purpose, where we discuss all things prospecting, sales, business, and mindset. I'm your host, Sara Murray, a sales champion who's here to show you that you can be a shark in business and still lead with intentionality and authenticity. Tune in each week as we dive into methods to connect with clients, communicate with confidence, and close the deal.
Hello, and welcome to the season finale of the inaugural year of Prospecting on Purpose. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. What a fabulous gift. We got to spend the year together. Last week, I shared a project I built called an impact board, and keeping track of your big and small wins throughout the year makes it easier to see how far you've come and what you're actually capable of. And then that evidence propels you forward. So it's like this awesome momentum cycle if you take the time to do this. So in that spirit, that's what this episode's topic is about. And I keep thinking about something my friend Linda shared with me. Shout out to Linda. She has a big place on my impact board. Linda told me that the number of years of experience doesn't matter. Individuals can repeat year one over and over again for multiple years, while others have years that build upon one another where they learn, grow, and chart out unexplored places. It's like that compound effect, right? This is so powerful to think about, and I feel pretty comfortable and confident which group I'm in. And I feel very confident that if you're listening to this show, you're someone who prioritizes self-development and building upon your own skill sets, mistakes, and consistently taking action. The people repeating year one over and over again are probably not listening to business podcasts about personal and professional development. So a massive congratulations to all of us who embrace self-improvement. And a really big part of moving forward requires us to look back. I'm taking myself through an exercise, and I wanted to share it with you as we close out this year. I have 11-ish questions I'm going to ask you to sit with. You can just listen while you're driving or walking and think about it, or what I'm doing is carving out some time to go through each question and journal it out or type it out. And use this episode as a tool to help give you some structure to how to self-reflect on this past year. While this episode is released at the end of this 2023 year, self-reflection can be done at any time. Maybe you do this at the beginning of the year. Maybe you do it every quarter, or maybe you do it on your birthday. It's not really important when you self-reflect. The important thing is that you do it. I'm going to go through 11 questions for self-reflection in your business efforts. And one more caveat before we get into it. I'm using the term your business as we go through these questions, but as I've shared in past episodes, whether we work for an organization or we're self-employed, our work, our roles, our contributions, our personal brand, how we're showing up, we are our own business unit. So when I say your business in these journal prompts, this is applicable to whatever we do for work and our actual jobs. Okay, diving in. Question 1. What were the key achievements and successes this past year in your business? Question 2. How well did your business adhere to its core values and mission? Part 2A might be, do you know your core values and your core mission? And if not, maybe that's a goal for the new year. Question 3. What were the top 3 specific actions or big rocks, big projects, big sales? What were the 3 specific actions you executed that moved your business forward? Question 4, looking at your big rocks, the 3 big actions that moved your business forward, why were they impactful? And then take it an extra step and write out or think about the specific actions that you took to achieve that goal or objective. How did you execute it? How did you get it across the finish line? Write down or figure out what were those specific tasks you did. Question 5, did you and or your team meet its goals? And if not, what adjustments can be made for the new year? Question 6, did you effectively manage resources and what changes might enhance allocation in the future? Question 7, what mistakes did you make and what did you learn from them? Question 8, was there a time when you had to pivot or change your direction? Following up on those questions, this next question is technically like 4 questions, but question 9, what was your physical, emotional, and mental response from a mistake or a need to pivot? How did you handle it? Were you happy or proud of how you handled it? And if not, what would you do differently? Question 10, what were the most impactful relationships you made or you developed and grew more in your business? Question 11, our final question, what was the biggest risk you took and what were the outcomes of the risk? Would you do it again? And that wraps up our list of self-reflection questions. I want to add here that if any of your answers are disappointing you, for example, if you took a risk and the outcome wasn't what you were hoping for, that is okay. The important win here is that you took the risk and that you're taking time to look back on it because maybe you wouldn't do it again or you do it differently. It's okay if we're not happy with the outcome, but why it's important to look back is that it helps us realize, would we do this again? What worked? What didn't work? Course correct, finesse, pivot, improve, try again. That's what we need to do. So everything that we want is on the other side of fear. And sometimes just taking an honest look at ourselves requires courage. To wrap up this episode, I just want to end with letting you know that I am proud of you. After going through this episode and this exercise, I was thinking about the podcast this year and the messaging that I wanted to leave the audience with. And I know I've shared this in past episodes, but I always want to be authentic and I always want to be vulnerable. But going into the new year, I want to change that language. And instead of saying I'm showing up vulnerable, I want to make a pivot and let you know that I'm communicating that I'm going to show up authentic and courageous. And so let's take this upcoming year and step into our best selves. And as we continue to look back and move forward, we keep leveling up, and I am here for it. So I hope that this list of questions help you do this. I hope that this show helps you do this. That wraps up our season finale. Thank you so much for being a part of this first season of Prospecting on Purpose. I could not have done it without you. I will see you in the next year for season 2. It's going to be so fun. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next year.
Thank you so much for listening to the Prospecting on Purpose podcast. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the podcast and please rate and leave a review. For more info on me, or if you'd like to work together, feel free to go to my website, saramurray.com. On social media, I'm usually hanging out at Sara Murray Sales. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.